Pantheon was the best jungler in the game on the patch, and he was banned all the time.
So Varus is left up, though, because they got to ban out both the Azir and the Talia, since we're not trading those two back and forth. Varus kind of left up and lingering here to see if Massu wants to jump on that one.
And it's a pretty hard offer to refuse. Varus, so strong. You can play him, of course, for the DPS or the poke builds. Has a lot of laning presence. Just a ton of value there to blind pick that one. First there on the blue side, the response from DSG will be a quick Aurora lock for what I'm assuming is Dark Wings in his first game here in the LTA.
Well, I would also say that is definitely flexible and very well could be a castle champion as well. Because Darkwings does play a lot of control mages, and double AP is actually so much better now that they added the Bloodletter's Curse into the game. Ever since that thing got added, everybody's just been slinging around double AP solo lanes everywhere because you can shred for the other AP, so very well could be super flexible.
Plus, you've already got an ideal jungler for that double AP type of situation. The Wukong providing a ton of physical damage threat there in the jungle role. Back over on the FlyQuest side, though, we are going with champs that keep it simple. We've got Varus, your standard archer, AD carry. We've got the most standard type of mage, burst mage in the game here with Annie for quad in the mid lane. And hey, we're just going to keep the standard stuff coming. It's when I think jungling, this is probably about the most, he's a jungler in the game. He fits into everything. He's effective early. He can skirmish. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
And yeah, we were expecting the meta to remain very similar coming back to LTA because the patch changes were not very large.
Yeah.
We are going to stay on live patch continuing through this entire split for the LTA, and but yeah, the change is not super big, so we're staying with pretty much exact same style meta.
And just to let people know real quick, yes, we know that Yunara is out live right now on the Rift. However, because of even when playing on the live patch, we still have a global competitive ban on new champions for 2 weeks. Teams are not allowed to pick Yunara here for the first week, so we'll get to see her a little bit later on this split, but not today. As I think that's definitely an Aurora for mid lane now. Sion locked in for Disguise. Big meatball there for Castle.
Yeah, definitely setting up a very good team fight for themselves here. I mean, if you have Aurora plus Wukong threatening on a low mobility Varus, always like that, but then adding the Sion with the ultimate really makes you very, very wary of any sort of flank angles here. So Disguise actually crafting themselves a comp that has a lot of angles for attack to try and punish some low mobility carries in the Varus and Annie. Although FlyQuest here soaking some bans for Bwipo. Disguised very well aware of Bwipo's potency in counter-picking top lane, and since they early picked that Sion, they know something is coming, but they want to at least take out that set that he really does love.
I mean, it's a big advantage for FlyQuest in the fearless era of League of Legends, having a top laner who will just play all sorts of crazy stuff all the time. But yeah, the set and the Rumble banned out here as it's double AD carry targets coming out from FlyQuest. They'll remove the Jhin, they'll remove the Ezreal, two of those longer range carries that can contribute more safely to the team fights if they need to be. They want somebody that's got to put themselves in a little bit more danger. They want somebody that's a more easily accessible target for the Annie and Xin Zhao to jump on and blow up before the fight can even start.
Yeah, definitely do want to remove some of the safety, some of the longer ranges ones. And Ezreal definitely comfort champ for Rahel. Let's see what he goes with to pair with that Alistar. Meanwhile, on the FlyQuest side here, already locking in the Rakan for Busio. This is a huge champion for him. He had some crazy good engages. I feel like these two have been performing so well. They very well could just go with that Xayah because you're facing a lot of dive on the Disguise side of the map. But we go Swain!
It's Swain! He loves to deal with dive as well. He just absorbs it in a bit of a different way. It's an anti-dive bird champ. So they're going along the same direction, but the Swain is so strong here.
And we mentioned Flowers, the double AP being so much more popular with the Bloodletter's Curse. This works for bottom lane as well. And since Swain can build for Bwipo here into Rylai's utility for later also, it's like you have so many options here for the Annie plus Swain combinations. Double AP for FlyQuest into the Sivir to actually round out this Disguise comp to just turbo speed their dive comp Flowers. Give all the extra speed to the Wukong and the Aurora and the Alistar in their attempts at flanking and getting into those low mobility carries. But now, if you're diving into the Swain, and the Swain had a strong early stage of the game, then the Swain just could be this monster that is super tanky, had got like free grass stacking procs all over the Scion. We'll see how well this early lane phase goes and how quickly they lane swap, because that might be a way to get around allowing this Swain just super easy stacking mechanics.
Yeah.
Because you stack with your passive, you stack with grasp as well, and
a lot of HP.
If you stack a whole bunch, then mid-game you become pretty brutal for a lot of the short-range comps, and this DSG comp is fairly short-range.
All right, we've got the Swain locked in. I love to see it. It's time to kick things off here. Finally back in the Riot Games arena. Split 3 underway. FlyQuest coming back off of some international competition. Disguise trying to bounce back from what's been a difficult 2025 so far. Make sure they're in the right shape when they have to defend their spot here in just a couple of months. Can Darkwings and Rahel be the secret sauce that Disguise has been needing this entire time? Or are FlyQuest going to serve them a quick 2-0? I'm excited for the comps in this first one. I'm hoping it's fast-paced, it's bloody, and it gets there early. But let's see how this one all shakes out as we hop in to our first game. Let's see if anything is immediately jumping out. Bwipo, so not going to be using the grasp on the Swain, instead going for the phase rush, allows him to be more effective in the face of some of the powerful slows. Castle, of course, won't be able to slow him down with the Slayer's Roar. Then later on, once you get into the team fights, remember that Aurora's weirding is an 80% slow, so being able to have phase rush and get back out when you're having to scrap with her can also be really strong.
Yeah, and just dodging the abilities there as well, avoiding damage with the extra move speed and the jukes. So let's see, lots of deep wards towards Raptors, so both teams will know pretty early on, or we'll be able to assume the blue starts.
All right, so Lee's keeping some standard vision there in the jungle to start off here early. Castle does not want to give Bwipo any opportunity to hit him with the free damage early on. Obviously, as Scion starts to build some MR in this lane, things will become easier, but you do still have to be respectful of that harass, of the extra power of dealing with a ranged opponent. Down here in bottom lane, Huhi and Rahel versus Massu and Busio. Not only are Huhi and Rahel having to go up into this first matchup specifically against the toughest team from the league last split, but Massu and Busio have been standout performers even on the top team. This is a duo that has been playing together for a good long time now. FlyQuest as a team, one of the longest standing rosters globally played together. The longest standing roster. So not only are your two young carries coming into a new team trying to make sure they can all gel in time, you're going up against a squad that's been playing this game for a long while.
Yeah, they've built up their synergy, gone through a lot of heavy competition and doing it as well. FlyQuest, of course, so much international competition that they have been able to test their skills against. So starting out though, does look like we are getting pushed in for FlyQuest on both side lanes. So easy full clear for Wukong as well as Xin. And the Xin, of course, going to be ending on the bottom side since DSG's bottom lane knows that their jungler's pathing up towards top side. They're trying to be safe. You see them go just place their ward here towards Tribrush and towards the river. So both those wards for DSG are going to make sure that Inspired isn't going to have any sort of route towards them after Krugs and would have to go all the way around. But eXyu is going for a level 3 gank here to get the flash. He skipped his Krugs instead of going for the full clear to get the earlier time here and get the anti-flash down super early.
And I feel like you're loving that if you're playing Wukong. This champion that's normally known, power farm to 6, get value out of the ulti. The ganks, not that great early on. That flash feels very nice. But for Disguise, what they're feeling mostly, Kobe, is pressure. The clock is ticking. They must defend their spot at the end of this split no matter what. 2 months, 4 days, 23 hours from now, Disguise has to fight to stay in the LTA. So when you look at the roster, when you think, okay, replacing mid and AD carry between split 2 and split 3 is definitely a bold move, they've got to find something. They've got to do something that works and start trying to find that coherent gameplay, that team play that they've been lacking so far throughout this year if they want to have a chance of staying in the league.
Yep, time pressure is on DSG, so that's why they make some roster swaps and trying to immediately find some success. So we were looking for early lane swaps, Flowers, and we do get a fairly early post 4 minute one. Looks like A lot of these ones are going to die to the tower, though. Also remember, because eXyu did skip the Krugs early on, in his second clear, it is going to be delayed respawn on those Krugs, so he's going to have a little bit of extra time after his Raptors to kind of fish around and try and find something. Probably trying to focus on Quad here, who without the flash and pre-6 should be a bit of a target. Huhi doing his little support roam timer here duty to make sure the control ward through River allows them repeat angles to try and put that pressure out.
Yeah, Quad gets a little bit of damage there onto Darkwings. Darkwings, that snappy Aurora trade back, though. The champion just does so much upfront burst, as long as you, of course, hit both of the abilities. But...
And they're going to bring 2 for this gank, Flowers. Control wards on both sides for these DSG members. And Quad, with the wave pushing away for him, look at that. That is self-control.
Patience.
The minion's dying in front of him. He does not go greed for that minion out there because he has no vision on either side at the time. And so good job there by Quad, avoiding that timing window where he would be vulnerable to a gank without his flash. And then he waited until Busio was able to get there with some vision. And you saw Busio kind of pass through mid and at least get him a control ward on the bottom side of mid lane.
Okay, Busio back down into the bottom side here. He and Massu can put some damage onto Castle. This isn't really going to threaten the Scion's life, but it is going to harass him enough and make him fall back underneath that turret. Set FlyQuest up with a good spot to just control the tempo of this lane however they want, and it gives Inspired a great opportunity to start up the Drake. You've got total control over bottom lane. Mid lane also, enemy player still making his way back from the recall as Darkwings had already used the TP earlier. So FlyQuest has total control over this neutral objective. They'll pick it up for free.
Yep, easy Drake for them. Meanwhile, top side, there's 3 members of DSG. Remember the timing window we talked about while the Krugs were respawning for eXyu?
Yep.
He was kind of fishing around up there. Now they have respawned, so you can go finish it out and look for his level 6. But Quad!
Yeah, the tempo tibbers. Lots of times Annie's just using those for early value. You get a powerful trade, knock the guy down low, also get some extra pushing power to control the wave better. But Darkwings, of course, fires right back himself. Both mid laners going to be chunked down to about half HP now. Ultimates used from both, and about a quarter of that timer, you can see 90 seconds left on the flash for Quad. So once that comes back up, we'll see if FlyQuest want to try to make a play with it, or again, if Disguise can try to punish it still in that last minute and a half before the cooldown's ready to go.
Yeah, plus, you know, Bwipo on the top side, even with the extra members up there, did not fall to any of the extra pressure. So the Swain has been farming just fine.
Yep.
He is currently at an extra 225 bonus health. From the Swain passive, just stacking that up himself. And as you can see, is going into the Catalyst. So we'll get the Rod build. So he is going for the scaling, big, beefy Swain here, just to be really hard for this DSG dive comp to try and work around. Because Wukong and Aurora, like, they got to go in, Flowers.
Yeah, you don't really have a whole lot of other choices on those two champions.
And even as Sivir is kind of like bouncing stuff off the front line, she is still short range. So Bwipo here trying to scale up into the mid game with that Swain counter pick.
And Castle is just going to have to farm up whatever he can here. You can see a little bit of fun facts about Darkwings down in the bottom of the screen as Bwipo forcing ulti for ulti here from Castle. Castle will at least get enough distance that Bwipo will not continue the range for the ulti there, won't find himself a kill, but he maintains the pressure.
So, didn't you cast that Red Bull 1v1?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the one that I casted. Yeah, because I did the Red Bull 1v1
you had a
couple
front row
years
seat
back.
to Darkwings.
Yeah, I got that. Was my first introduction to him as a player, was winning that 1v1 competition. So we know that he's got the mechanics, we know that he's got the skills, but it's also always such a different environment. Seeing a player go from solo queue ladder environments, 1v1s, even playing in tier 2, the step up to tier 1 here on the LCS, LTA, whatever it's been throughout the history of the league, onto that biggest stage, it takes a while to adapt to it. So we'll see if Darkwings has what it takes to learn that quickly. eXyu down here in the bottom lane now, forcing the flash back out of Bwipo. Doesn't get a whole lot of damage, but hey, at least the summoner's down.
Yeah, he's going through, getting some very kind of efficient timings here to just instantly get the flash, then recall. Didn't use his Wukong ultimate or anything, still has his own flash. As Darkwings goes for a little bit of a trade here. He's got the safety of Huhi behind him, so feels just fine there, and does have his Aurora ultimate backup and available. But Inspired, back to doing Inspired things. So even though we mentioned, oh yeah, getting Bwipo's flash was really quick and pretty efficient. Inspired's like, it wasn't that efficient. I'm going to at least take your Raptor camp here. So even though he only showed for 3 seconds or something down there, Inspired's like, well, all right, you're recalling. I'm going to take your Raptors real quick, and gets +1 extra camp.
Well, he got the Raptors. He also secured the Grubs while eXyu was on the other side of the map there too. So despite the fact that eXyu, yeah, he got a flash off of the enemy mid laner early. He got a flash off of the enemy top laner now. The scoreboard still says 0-0 on kills, but both of those neutral objectives have gone the way of FlyQuest through Inspired securing them.
Keep your head down. Keep on farming, Flowers.
Okay.
Be a good jungler.
Well, he's level 7 now. We've got the power unlocked. A Wukong with ult and flash. There's a lot of playmaking potential usually here. Quad just going to continue scrapping with Dark Wings, though. Both of these mid laners just want to find those really fast, really snappy electrocute trades. Back away.
Yeah. And everybody kind of farming up towards their first item power spikes here. Of course, Sivir usually has to wait a little bit longer than everybody else to really bring some big power and focuses more on the minion waves early on. But it is also going to be Massu with the on-hit, of course, Varus, because he went with the lethal tempo, and you're seeing the build into the newly buffed Blade of the Ruin King a little bit, especially since he's going to be hitting a lot of melee and short-range champs as Huhi goes for the flash follow.
Yeah, Huhi, though, just getting way too aggro with it, and now Massu and Busio returning a ton of damage. Huhi's already about to die, and the arrow finds his heart. Disguised, forcing the play way too hard, thinking they had an angle, but Massu and Busio keep cool and collect first blood.
Huh, yeah, okay. So, like I said, keep your head down, keep farming, and then sometimes the first blood comes to you, Flowers, under the tower. And look at that. Quad roaming over here is like looking for some really deep stuff, trying to find any stragglers there on the Annie, because as soon as you finish your Malignance, you're like, I gotta use this.
Let's go.
Timbers is burning a hole in my pocket. Let me
I need him to burn a hole everywhere else.
I need to throw this bear down somewhere. Might be right now.
Okay, Huhi wants to follow up, help Dark Wings on this one, but honestly, Quad, yeah, he loses his flash again, but he does a ton of damage to Dark Wings on that one. Could interrupt Disguised's opportunity to try to use this play for any type of tempo, as Dark Wings already has to take the recall now. No teleport to join back up with the rest of the team, so Disguised doesn't actually buy themselves a ton of control over this bot side river. eXyu, he takes the crab, but he has to use his smite to get it, and that means there's no smite available for the Disguised jungler, as FlyQuest have a 4-man push that they're ready to just take this Drake with and dare Disguise to challenge.
Okay, I hear the Sion ult coming down through. You can see him through mid lane.
Yeah, he wants to arrive, but he only finds Busio. Now Bwipo's made his way down with a TP here as well. Disguise looking to come in and try to contest the Drake, but Inspired's already got that one secured. Bwipo putting the pressure on. Inspired is dead. eXyu taking the kill on that one, but it will be a 1-for-1 trade here as the enemy top laner also falls. Nice kill to Dark Wings as he picks off another one. FlyQuest firing back. Huhi's about to drop next. Nice stun there, run over hell! And FlyQuest will just wipe them in this fight. They lose Inspired, they get the Drake, they get 3 kills, they get a win here in the team fight, and they get the feats to boot.
Yeah, Inspired was like, I like these odds. He's the only one from FlyQuest still inside the Dragon Pit. All of the Disguise members around him, and he still secures the Dragon. Meanwhile, Bwipo Swain, as we were saying, we got to see it live action here, and he hasn't even stacked up his Rod of Ages or anything.
Yeah.
He has not even like scaled into this game, and the Swain already just gets to run rampant through this entire team fight. So we'll take another look at it, but you heard the Sion ult really early on, so they know it's coming, and they channel the ult nice and early here. Busio is then able to soak the Sion ult, but look at the Dragon Pit. It's everybody in there with Inspired. He ults on the Xin, still is able to get it. And then Bwipo comes through after they have already killed Castle, chases everybody inside the pit. And as you know, it is FlyQuest getting all of the chase down here as well.
Yep, they did get the extra kill onto Busio there too at the end. Dark Wings finding that one with his Aurora, so trying to get a little bit of something back, but again, still 3 kills to 2, favoring FlyQuest. The objective going to FlyQuest there, also big for Inspired. And man, look at the individual gold advantages. It's Massu's Varus that is out the furthest ahead. 1,500 individual gold lead for him. He's got his Berserker's Greaves empowered with the feats. He's got his Blade of the Ruin King newly buffed, like you already said. I love the fact that he's going with a lethal tempo build this game, since honestly, your poke's not going to be super effective against things like Sion or Wukong. Sivir can spell shield it. The piercing arrow build just doesn't feel like it would have the same efficacy as it can have in other comps in this one, but there's so many targets to be shooting at, and this guy's damage is primed to just be a problem for Disguise now that we're going to start seeing more of these big fights.
Yep, he certainly is the big problem on the Rift. The question will be, I mean, maybe they've got Darkwing's Flash here with the Aurora. You're still probably trying to look for one of those flank plays. Quad is under attack, though.
Yeah, we got some problems for Quad up here. Disguise going in for the kill, and Darkwings gets him with the weirding. Nicely picked up there by Disguise to find the FlyQuest mid laner out of position.
Nice pick for them. Opposite side of the map. Doesn't seem like there should be any sort of response from FlyQuest either. So that is just a very nice, clean pick here for Disguise. Get themselves some money back into this game. They are not too far behind just yet. Yes, the objectives are also stacking up against them, so that is going to be some extra pressure and will be very annoying because FlyQuest, on top of everything, are also going to be able to get the Rift Herald. So Dragon number 3 is only 2 minutes away. And actually, maybe they get another side lane attempt there. Wukong is also on the bottom side of the map, but Bwipo, especially with Flash, is probably too much.
Yeah, man, it's a Swain, and you have Sion and Alistar. It's pretty hard to kill.
I also love he went for the Boots of Swiftness, and since they got the feats, you get to get the Swift March boots. Those things are actually insane. And he's got Phase Rush, so he's
fast.
He's going to be cruising all over these team fights.
For an old man that just walks menacingly at you, he's a fast old man in this game. Yeah. FlyQuest, though,
he used to have a cane. He doesn't have a cane.
Yeah, he doesn't have the cane anymore. That was removed with the rework. But yeah. Inspired has the Rift Herald eyeball, like you already pointed out earlier. They're not even going to need it to take down the Tier 1 turret up here in the top side. 16 minutes means the plates are long gone. FlyQuest gold lead now builds up to about 2,000, and they've still got the Herald to use it mid if they want to. You can see a couple of pings in FlyQuest colors coming out on that objective now, as Quad might just be the target again. Disguise seems to have a game plan, and the game plan is kill Quad. He wants to try to get away from this one, but that's just way too much manpower. eXyu picking up kill number 4 of the game for Disguise. They'll tie things up in kills, but you already mentioned it earlier, Kobe. Kills aren't the entire game of League of Legends. All of the objectives are all FlyQuest this whole game. 3 grubs, 2 drakes, 2 turrets. This is Disguise needs to get some of these under control. Yeah, and the turrets are the real kind of kicker there, because the turrets have so much money in them, and it means you have so much less area to play with. So FlyQuest here feeling pretty confident. We got this nice little summary, by the way, of our extremely, well, not extremely, but newly buffed up, format that we've got with multiple stages, and the lower teams getting to pick their choice of the higher rated teams. Who do you want to try and get some? Well, actually, are they going to go for a bottom lane play? Everybody's headed towards the Dragon. Bwipo's the furthest one. He does not have teleport, so the Swain is going to be a bit delayed, and DSG actually want to jump on that. They're immediately going to start out this Dragon. Okay. Bwipo's almost all the way here, though. Yeah, this could, even if they get the Dragon, the fight from FlyQuest is a very scary proposition. Disguise are sticking with it, though. They're going to keep trying to go. Inspired and Busio looking for a chance. Darkwing's first weirding, not going to get a lot of value out of that one. Quad coming around from the side. Rift Herald summoned up as the distraction. Bwipo ready to step forward. Pops the ulti, creating space. Huhi wants to put pressure onto the back side of FlyQuest, but it will not matter. Bwipo continuing to march forward. FlyQuest on the chase. Honestly, though, Kobe, that went about as good as it could have possibly gone for Disguise. They're going to get the Drake. They'll get everybody out. Yeah, they rush it down. They see their little timing window here. They wanted to do it, too, before the second item started to get completed by FlyQuest. Because even with that gold lead for FlyQuest, they just had a bunch of extra pieces in inventory for items. And so they were still on pretty nice footing here for DSG. And getting a Dragon here, delaying the possible soul point for FlyQuest and that extra stacking is definitely one step for them. And I think that the timing you're talking about is best shown through Bwipo, because he, nice catch there with a max range, Chains of Corruption. FlyQuest punishes Darkwings for trying to stick around the Tier 1 a little bit longer. They'll take that kill, they'll take the turret in mid, they'll take the gold lead up to over 3,000. Ooh, Massu just snipes an Aurora. That is so hard. Yeah, man. Nice snipe from Massu here. Flash, Ghost, Varus, move speed. He actually has been doing this for quite a long time. Likes the extra move speed there. Moved in, hits his skill shot.
Darkwing's going down, and they even got the flash too, as he tried to ulti and use flash to get out of there. But very big pickup for FlyQuest, getting that extra boost of gold and one of the critical summoner spells here down for DSG's team fight, where they want to be able to pull off that flank. They know they have to kill Massu.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very hard to do that if they can't get Wukong and Aurora both onto that Varus.
And what you were talking about with that last dragon that DSG executed on so well, it's not true anymore, because right after we got done praising them for taking that window, which I agree was the right thing, bam, Bwipo completed the Rylai's. All of a sudden, you can't be near that Swain ulti anymore. That's going to be 2 kills that was previously a DSG disengage. Now you've got Massu with the upgraded boots and the Rage Blade also completed. The DPS is topping the charts. These upcoming fights will be a problem, as Bwipo will be a target. DSG going in for the 3v1. Bwipo staying alive for now, draining as much HP as possible. It's taken him a long time to kill him. He flashes away to keep it going. eXyu doesn't have the damage. Disguised overplays their hand, and now Busio's into the back lines. Darkwing's going to be taken down here first to the front, as Castle should be next to fall. The Scion wants to try to get away, but Massu's not going to be a target. He's an executioner. Unstoppable for the Varus, and Bwipo's not done yet. Rahel's got to try to get away, as Huhi wants to play cover. Rahel's spell shoot absorbs a little, but Quad's ready to find 2 more. FlyQuest just bulldoze disguised. They tried to find a pick, but you can't go after the Fed Swain.
Yeah, with Phase Rush, with the Boots of Swiftness, with the Flash available, he can just create too much time, and FlyQuest, actually ideal team fights are if you do start out on Bwipo. He uses his flash there to flash into the brush. You see multiple wards then put down by DSG. They're like, quick, we have to get vision. We have to be able to kill this guy quickly. Otherwise, the rest of FlyQuest join, and the rest of FlyQuest will finish him off. Nice little flash there as well from Inspire to block the escape path from Castle. It's just, they're going to walk him down now, Flowers. No escape in this game. Flash forward from Quad, as you know, to finish that off.
Nice job. Yeah, we killed them all. Nice. Huge. Well played.
Yep. Business as usual.
It's just another day at the office.
Yep. Nice.
Well, okay. Earlier, we were on a little bit of copium, but it's looking rough for Disguise now. And honestly, this has been their 2025 so far. It has been a rough road. Remember that back in Split 1, they did get an individual game win against Dignitas as well, but because that was a best of 3, it's still a loss on the record. Split 2, the best of 1 against Team Liquid, their only true win so far this year. This is why we have the changes. This is why they're bringing in new carry players. This is why they're trying to mix it up and find that recipe for success, because what's been going on so far hasn't been it, and they know the time is ticking.
And honestly, I mean, this is the toughest competition that you're going to have. Like, they have to start out playing FlyQuest.
Yeah.
So don't be super quick to immediately, you know, call it over here on the new squad, because as you say, you know, bringing in 2 different carry players is definitely going to need some time at least to work with, and they are really not going to have a lot of time, especially left in this game. Inspired and the rest of FlyQuest invading the jungle. They don't even have Bwipo or Quad with them.
No, FlyQuest just wants to scrap in a 3v5 here. Ton of damage on the Castle, gonna kill him before anything else even starts. Massu, the target for Disguise, but they can't put the pressure onto him. Huhi ends up knocking the Tibbers away. Quad's on a killing spree. Rahel tries to flash over the wall, but Bwipo's got him. The power of the Rylai's, no amount of spell shield will save you from that. Bwipo picks up another one, 13-4 FlyQuest.
Yeah, it's brutal out here, Flowers. You got Inspired behind your own turret, so Darkwings has to go north. He is going to find an escape route up to the top, but the turret can't run away.
Nope, no legs on that turret, no legs on that dragon, no legs on Disguised chances really in game number 1 here. 8,500 gold lead now with a soul point. 23 minutes into the game. Let's take another look at how it started off, because FlyQuest knew no fear.
Yeah, I mean, FlyQuest with 3 members are like, yeah, we can go full invade the jungle. It's all good. You know, Quad and Bwipo will be here eventually. So they do that, and after they get the Scion ult out, they just turn right back around, and they just kill the Scion. Massu is so fed, the on-hit Varus just melts right through the tank front line. And then even though at the end, Huhi does get a combo onto that backline, there's no extra threat, because how do you get through the Rylai's Swain? Well, the answer is you don't. He's level 16 right now, so he has the full levels in his ulti, and he's just running straight through your squad.
Yeah, I think Huhi wanted to try to knock Massu back into the dead Scion there, maybe for some more damage, but then at the end, because it's a clump, he headbutts Tibbers away instead. Yeah. Not really a whole lot you can do about that one. I mean, honestly, if they're just soloing your entire front line, 3v5 by themselves, the game's probably in a pretty rough spot. So the Varus damage, man. Also, now that he has the Terminus done, like, I don't know how you kill him. I really don't.
It's too tanky, man. Well, maybe you just go after Quad again. How about that? That game plan did work, and he bought a Medjai's. So you get extra value if you just go kill Quad again. They're actually going to go mid instead.
They're going to look for Busio, immediately collide with the Scion ulti, and Massu's already down. That's a great start for Disguise. But Bwipo's made his way into the fight now, and he and Inspired are going to look to push this one further forward. Rahel will die. Quad goes on a rampage. eXyu's your next target. The Wukong not tanky enough against the power of the Fed, and he double kill back over to Quad. And Castle can't get away. Bwipo finds another one. Disguise started the fight with a pick on the most powerful player on FlyQuest, but they will still lose the fight 3-for-1 because Fly are just so far ahead.
And Quad's got 20 stacks on his Medjai's instantly after that. He had 10. He had 10 before it started. 10 more stacks there plus the Baron. But you did say you didn't see how they're going to kill Varus. Well, they did accomplish 1,000 gold, I believe, shutdown on the Varus.
Okay,
so you got to start somewhere.
They got 1,000 gold shut down on the Varus, and before the fight, the gold lead was 10,000, and now the gold lead is 11,000. So they've, unfortunately, I think the needle is still moving closer and closer to a FlyQuest victory. But Disguise, they had a moment there. They can find Massu. Problem is, the game is so far out of their control. Even doing it, it feels like you got to spend too much firepower, and there's nothing left in the tank to deal with this raid boss Swain, to deal with all the power coming out of Quad's Annie. Even though he's been targeted, it's not like he's behind. He's got plenty of damage.
And since he bought the Medjai's, you kind of slingshot right back into Omega Powerful here because he's got full 20 stacks on it already.
It's rough out here, man.
And he's also got the arm guard, a couple of arm guards there. Bwipo has his 2, and the Guardian Angel on Inspired is almost ready for completion. So here come FlyQuest here, marching in game number 1, looking to finish it with this Baron buff. Bwipo does have teleport, so he's going back to base. Bwipo can teleport in, and FlyQuest can just brute force this straight through the bottom side, full 5.
Yep. Let's see how much Disguise wants to defend here. Inspired just going to push everybody back. Castle's not here. He has his teleport to try to join, but that bottom lane inhibitor is just deleted before Disguise can even do anything about it. Never moved there onto Huhi. Locks up the Alistar for a second. eXyu looking for a flank, but Inspired trying to mark him. Now Bwipo's in the middle of everybody yet again. The Swain creates so much space. Nice stun there on the Darkwings, who has to try to get away with a hop across the Veil. Now Castle also continuing the retreat here with a flash. First Nexus turret down. FlyQuest undeterred. Inspired leading the charge as they've got the next minion wave already ready over here underneath the tier 3 turret. Bwipo going to be taken low by Darkwings, but he goes golden, giving himself alive. eXyu is first to fall as the turret drops here to the exhaust back into Darkwings. Quad needs a little bit more damage, and Darkwings doesn't have enough to get away. The invulnerability from Quad keeps him alive as Castle is felled as well. Massu dies to the Scion dead body, but Disguise base is in shambles. Rahel fully retreating away from Inspired as Huhi wants to try to save the day, but the Alistar can't do it. He's not even level 11. His will is very breakable now, and FlyQuest 20-6 slam game 1.
Well. FlyQuest starting it out with a smooth game number 1, crushing through it. They got the counter pick onto top side because the Scion was picked in the first 3 there by Disguised, and Bwipo definitely made use of it with the Swain.
I think FlyQuest is looking good. Lounge, what do you think?
Looking very good.
Pretty good. I will say, it did seem like DSG had more bright spots than they did in last split.
Yeah.
But then by the end of the game, they just got slammed again.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough look, especially at that first fight. But the first question, is it a swangle?
It is a
swangle.
It's a swangle?
It is definitely a swangle.
Confirm swangle.